This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a returning guest. He was back on the show back in January 25th, if you will, 2018, talking about LiCO Energy Metals, Inc. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol WCTXF. They also trade on the TSX up there under the ticker symbol LIC. And with us today is the president and CEO of the company, Tim Fernback. Tim, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here, Everett.
Hey, give my new listeners a little bit about statement of who you guys are and what you guys do up there north.
Okay, great. We're a mineral exploration company, and we focus on two main energy metals, which are lithium and cobalt. We believe strongly in the future of these two commodities, and what we've done is put different land packages together for exploration of these two metals that are in world-class properties, world-class locations.
You know, I was reading some of your past press releases here, and you guys, you had a percentage of Glencore property. Now you own all of it. Can you bring us up to speed, or what's that going to do for you?
Sure. On March 5th, we announced that we were going to purchase the remaining part of the Glencore Buck property. The Glencore Buck property is an Ontario cobalt property that is directly adjacent to our much larger Teledyne property that we've completed an exploration program in 2017 on both of those land positions. We like the Glencore Buck property a lot. It adds considerably to the underground resource that we plan on putting together in cobalt for that particular area. And it complements our Teledyne property nicely.
Can you give myself and my listeners some of the results that you guys did on your drilling program in 2017?
Sure. Yeah, we drilled quite a bit, over 4,000 meters of drilling in total on our properties. Teledyne, we were drilling much deeper than the Glencore Buck property. We were drilling 200-meter drill holes. And we intersected in Teledyne quite a bit of great cobalt mineralization. I think we had mineralization in all the drill core that we had, but some of the best numbers that we got, they were 3%, 4%, even up to 8% cobalt in sections of the drill core. And we had a consistent kind of 0.5% average that we saw over the drill core assays that we received. So we're really happy about the results that we got in the cobalt showings on the Teledyne project. As you know, there's a historic resource there that what we're doing is basically trying to prove up under the new exploration 43-101 mining standards. And then the Glencore Buck property, again, we were doing shallower holes because of the mineralization comes almost to surface there. These were 500 or 50-meter holes that we did considerably more holes that we were diamond drilling at the Glencore Buck property. And even at this property, we saw the same type of mineralization in all the holes, like a significant 0.5% or greater cobalt numbers. We actually, interestingly enough, found really great copper numbers there as well too. So when we eventually get this to a resource, those copper numbers will considerably improve the economics of the overall project.
Now that we're got 2017 behind us and starting probably here in May and going forward for the next 4 or 5 months is a good time up there in Canada. My question to you is, what is the plan for 2018 exploration program for the Teledyne property and the Glencore Buck property?
So what we have planned is we have a two-phase drilling program for each of those properties. The first phase of the program will roughly be about 5,000 meters of drilling. And again, the intention is to get to an inferred resource underground of cobalt. The second phase of drilling will be considerably more, maybe another 6,000 meters of drilling. but we'll identify the actual targets and the amount of drilling once we finish the first phase of the 2018 program, and that will likely continue into 2019. And the plan here is that we have Glencore as a willing offtake buyer and exploration partner for us. What they want to see on the property is about $100 million of cobalt underground. And once we can demonstrate that, then we have an earn-in option that they can participate in and earn back in on the project. And that's what we're really excited about.
You've been listening to Tim Fernback. He is the president and CEO of LiCO Energy Metals, Inc. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol WCTXF. They also trade on the TSX up there north under the ticker symbol LIC. Tim, last time you were on the show, barely mentioned a little bit about your property in Chile and your property in Nevada. Can you give us an update on either one of those?
Yeah, sure. The property the properties, we have two properties in Nevada. They're both lithium brine properties. The 2018 work program for these properties is we're just going to continue on the follow-up of the geophysics and other work that we're doing there. We want to, I guess both of these properties are potentially large lithium deposits, and we want to make sure that we're doing a proper exploration program there, taking into account the fact that this is a very arid climate, and water permits are also something that will be negotiated and needed in the future. So we're continuing to move those projects along. The project in Chile, it's been under a bit of a force majeure for the last little while, because as we sort out the work with the community, the local Atacama community there, so we have engaged different groups to kind of work with the locals there to try and have a successful solution to the exploration and future production on the property, so that we can have a decade or more of smooth sailing on that property. So we're looking to the long term there and looking to work with them over the long term.
I want to switch gears here for a second and talk about your team. Recently, you added a couple new directors, Anthony Jackson and Ryan Goodman. What skill sets do they bring, to the team, and what kind of impact will they make?
So Anthony Jackson, we brought him on the board on April 18th. Anthony, I've known for a little while. He is a accountant by trade, but he's been a director on various cobalt projects and other mining resource issuers. He brings a considerable amount of experience, not only in the finance and running of exploration companies, and he also has that added cobalt expertise that we were looking for in a director. So he's a great find, someone that's going to add considerably to the board of directors, and we're glad to have him on there. On February 5th, we brought on Ryan Goodman. Ryan is a lawyer by profession, but he works as corporate counsel for Aura Minerals. Aura Minerals is a large, copper producer, mid-sized copper producer that has two operating mines. So we wanted Ryan's expertise because he understands the transition from exploration to production and has a really good handle on all of the legal and business requirements that we're going to need for that transition. And as we, obviously, as we move into that phase with our company, we want to be as prepared as possible. So he as well as a great find as a director. He's a great person and can add considerably to our company.
You've been listening to the president and CEO of the company, LiCO Energy Metals, Tim Fernback. Tim, in closing, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you would like to illustrate out there to my listeners?
I just think that LiCO is a great opportunity for someone to come in, and if they like the green energy space and believes that the future is bright for commodities like cobalt and lithium, our company certainly is focused on these two metals, and we will be that way for the foreseeable future. We're looking to build out that Ontario cobalt project. which is very promising, and hopefully we'll have some really good news in the future on the 2018 drill results.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I want my listeners to take a look at this stock. I love it at this price at 6.5 cents. We've been talking about LiCO Energy Metals. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol WCTXF. They also trade on the TSX Venture under the ticker symbol LIC. Tim, thanks for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come back on the show in about 40 or 50 days.
Yeah, that sounds great. Looking forward to it, Everett.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.